Item 11.4 we moved, which was item 15.2. You want to go ahead and read that, Mr. Attorney?
Yes, a resolution authorizing the city manager designating to expand the city tuition reimbursement program to include part-time employee, providing the city manager and city attorney authority to do all things necessary to effectuate this resolution, providing to effective date.
Okay. Madam Clerk, is there anybody wishing to speak on this item?
No speakers, Mr. Mayor.
No speakers. All right. Let's go ahead and bring it up here for discussion. Mr. Francisco or Mr. Manager, do you want to talk to us about this?
I'm going to bring up our HR Director, Mr. Francisco Rios, to outline it. This request came from the dais. We did do some research and looked in and did some work on the item, and we came up with some parameters that we could put in place to move it forward. So Mr. Rios will go over those parameters quickly for the board and the approval.
It came from the dais or from a particular commissioner?
Yes, sir.
It was the majority? Everybody here? All of us?
Said during the meeting, sir.
So you don't want to give me the answer? Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Francisco. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the City Commission, Mr. City Manager, Mr. City Attorney, and Madam Clerk. If we could please bring up the presentation. Okay. So the item before you serves to kindly request approval or direction to expand the city's tuition reimbursement benefit to qualifying part-time employees. As you see, this slide provides some information as to what the benefit would provide. It's intended to expand the current benefit offerings in the same manner as provided to full-time employees. In order to qualify for the benefit, employees that are part-time employees must have served for the city for a continual 12 months, and they must average 20 hours per week to be eligible for the program. The courses must be pre-approved by their department and must be job-related or part of a normal career path for the employee. As you can see in this slide, it does provide what the current benefit is. It is a sliding scale dependent on grade achieved, would depend on the amount of reimbursement. For part-time employees, it does provide for $2,000 per calendar year cap, and that is based off of the Florida state rate for either an undergraduate degree or a master's degree. This is a quick summary of what the benefit provides. Again, this is a benefit that is intended to expand the current benefit offerings that is in place right now for our full-time employees to allow for it to be provided to our part-timers. Currently, the city has approximately 130 part-time employees. So once they do meet eligibility, which is 1 year of continuous service, they would be eligible to participate in the program. If there's any questions.
Didn't we have something in where the number of hours they work per week?
Correct. They need to average 20 hours per week. That's included in the policy. That was part of the attachments. So they need to be normally scheduled for 20 hours or more per week in order to be eligible.
Mr. Rios, I have a question. Would this include the constituent aides that we have upstairs on the 4th floor?
Currently, they would not qualify as they have not been here for the 12 months.
But if they were be here past 12 months?
If they are past the 12 months, it would include the constituent aides. Any part-time employee who has served for 12 months or more, who is in good standing, that's another provision that's in there. They cannot, they can't be within the previous 6 months either demoted due to the disciplinary action or suspended.
Okay. No, I'm just asking because if I'm not mistaken, I think that one of our commissioners up here works with one of their relatives, and that may be a conflict of interest if they vote on this. Would that be a conflict of interest if they're voting on something?
Well, the relatives policy, from our knowledge, there's no employee in the city that is currently in conflict with the policy for employment of relatives.
Okay, I thought Commissioner Fleurimond's aide was a relative of his.
Did you ask me that question? I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what I thought when I saw it when she was hired.
I'm sorry?
Is she a relative? Is she a family member or a relative?
No, I don't have family members working for me, sir. That's an
Okay, just wanted to make
insinuation. I
sure
don't know
we're
where
clear
you
for
got
the
that from.
record. Yeah, I've seen enough unethical things happen already, so I just want
Yeah,
to
but
make sure.
don't just come out of your.
No, but I have to ask. I like to ask in the open.
Is your aid related to you?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's move on. sir.
And I have no problem telling that, so don't get offensive on that. Okay. Any other questions for staff or the manager on this? Commissioner Joseph?
Yeah, through the manager, I know that a lot of our employees, well, right now there's a lot of, I'm going to take the mask off, sorry. I think this is a great idea just for the retention of, and the attractiveness of young and vibrant people that are looking for an opportunity to work for the city, to see this as an additional incentive to work here. Other companies are doing similar things, Amazon, McDonald's, a lot of these places, just to retain some good employees, because right now there's a worker shortage, and whatever incentives we can do, specifically when it comes to education, because that's pretty important and what we try to promote here, that people have an opportunity, people get to go to school. And I'm just, and I know one of our largest groups of workers are the part-timers. A lot of them are around that college-bearing age. And I feel that this incentive would just give them more reason to stay in North Miami Beach. It's not a lot of money compared, and it's tied to, state and state tuition, which is awesome, because that tells me that, that these guys are working class. I went to FIU. I actually did a couple of courses at Miami-Dade that transferred over. So, and I come from a working class background. I think this is a great initiative to really keep a lot of great people. And I know that this would help a lot of people, especially in Parks and Rec. I can see our Parks Director over there. And I think, like I said, this is about retention as well as attracting some of the best and brightest. And I support it wholeheartedly. Thank you.
And I'd like to make a comment as well, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
What Commissioner Joseph is saying is exactly correct. I think that we have a slew of part-time employees that are around, the time when most people usually go to college, and we've seen a lot of them working very hard here, and we definitely want to encourage them that even though they're not full-time, that, they can continue towards getting their education and contributing to the city of North Miami Beach. So I think this is going to be a great addition, and I look forward to the support of the commission. Thank you.
Mr. Attorney, are you here? I just wanted to pose a question to you real quick. Can you enlighten me and tell me what other cities do this?
And tuition reimbursements for part-time?
Yeah.
I can research it. I don't know off the top of my head. With HR, we can research it.
So we've done no research. We don't know of any other cities that do this?
The HR would be the, Mr. Frank Rios would be the best person, because this is an HR issue.
No, I know, but being that you're an attorney that speaks to so many other attorneys, like you said, and has the background you have, I'm sure you may have come across this.
I can work with Mr. Rios, and we'll give you an answer, see if part-time employees. Okay.
Mr. Rios, would you happen to know the answer to that question? Have you experienced
We don't have that answer right now, sir. We'll work on it.
No? Don't have the answer. Oh, okay, I thought so. I believe if we had the farm and the cows, 4 cows, we'd probably give that away too. I can only say we've done a fantastic job for our employees. We just raised the minimum wage that I voted for. I thought it was the right thing to do. However, I don't think at this point I'm prepared to start throwing more money at tuition reimbursements. I would love to go through our budget season and see where we stand at the end of this year and revisit that. But heck, I already know, because it's on this paper, that it's going to pass, because the manager wouldn't put anything on this paper that he didn't know he had the votes for already. So I'm just going to go ahead and let everything happen the way it's supposed to happen. Yeah, Commissioner Kramer,
I
go ahead.
just have two questions. And I'm not sure because I might have missed the entire presentation that Frank gave, but can you at least enlighten us, if he didn't, what the amount, there's a what's the word? There's a cap. It was like, what, 2,000? How much?
2,000, it was in the presentation.
2,000. So if to work here, 1,000 or
$2,000.
Okay, sorry.
Per semester.
2,000
Per calendar year, per fiscal year, I'm sorry.
per fiscal year.
Yeah, so you have to request it prior to the budget being adopted for the upcoming year.
And what does 2,000 cover? Like how many classes? I don't know this. Do you know?
It would depend on the school. I think it might,
Let's say it's Miami-Dade or Broward.
I think it might be maybe 2 classes.
2 classes. Okay. So every year, though, they could be taking, so that's 2,000, 2,000. I mean, that's added to their salary for the part-time. All
Well,
right.
it's reimbursable.
Okay.
They'll have to pay for the class, and they'll get reimbursed depending upon their grade they get on the sliding scale that Mr. Rios showed.
Mr. Manager, can you tell me the name of Commissioner Fleurimond's aide?
Her name is Nadia Bruton. That's her name.
What's her name?
I said it already.
I didn't hear you.
Listen, I'm not going to play this game with you, Commissioner. Okay,
You
this
can
is for
play
the
it with me. I'm
employees
just
of
asking
the
you
city of North
because
Miami Beach.
I'm asking you
They can all
because I-
avail themselves. She has business cards. You want to ask the name of the mayor's aide? You want to ask the name of Commissioner?
I actually do.
Commissioner,
Can I get the name of all
Vice
the
Mayor's
aides?
aide?
Is that possible?
No,
What's the name of your aide, Mr. Mayor?
Nell Sharabani.
Can
What's
I
the
get the
name?
name of everybody's aide?
Nell
What's the name of your
Sharabani.
aide, Vice Mayor?
I'll email you.
Are
all
you
the
serious?
names of the aides.
Can I
Yeah.
get it tonight? I'd like it now before we vote. Can I get it now before we vote?
Have them with me.
Can everybody then say the name of their aide? Is that possible?
I don't have a
Commissioner Jean,
problem.
what's the name of your aide?
I don't have an aide.
Okay. He gave me your name. I couldn't even understand it. Commissioner, do you have an aide?
Nell Sharabani.
Commissioner,
Well, mine technically hasn't started yet, but he will start, Nicholas Williams.
okay. Commissioner Villard?
I don't have one.
And Commissioner Joseph? Okay, thank you. Does any, and this is the last question I'm going to ask. So none of my colleagues are related to any employee, part-time or full-time, in the city? Because if you do, you need to recuse yourself.
I do
If you
not.
don't,
I am not.
then this is just a total moot point.
I will go on the record and say I am not.
No, and nobody has to go on the record. I'm just saying it right
No,
now.
but we have the right to answer the question.
Okay.
Anybody else wants to answer the question and just be clear?
Mr. Mayor?
transparent?
I'm not.
That's it. I'm done. If it's not, I'm not saying you do. I'm just making sure.
Okay, if it's not,
That's all.
and
I'm
it's-
done. I'm done with it.
that's fine. If it's proven that it is, then they've created perjury.
And
Mr. Mayor, can I just make a motion to call the vote?
Oh,
Or
I
motion?
had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner
Hi.
Smucker, go on.
Oh, yeah, there
Okay.
we go.
For Mr. Rios, please.
I'll answer it.
Okay, so it's $2,000 a year, and I mean, if they take whatever one class a year for the rest of their lives, and they're working here, we'll be paying them that $2,000.
As long as they're working a minimum of 29 hours a week,
Uh-huh.
then yes, we'll be paying for the one class they take.
Forever.
As long as they request it before the
Okay.
fiscal year, and
And-
as long as they're in good standings at the city.
And it has to be related to something sitting.
Yes, as Mr. Rio stated, it would be on the whatever what we deem that is in line with our goals as a city. So it can be finance.
And if
type
they
of-
have, let's say they're studying to be a PE teacher, and then later on they change their major to chef, do we ask them for their money back?
Well, they have to turn in their form every year for tuition reimbursement.
Yeah,
That's the
but-
policy that's already been in place. It's in place now. So whenever somebody request to get reimbursed for their classes, there's a form that they fill out that says the class, the grade, and what the major is.
But if
So
they
we'll
don't,
see
if
that.
they change their major, they don't give money back.
Well, we'll see it on the form when they turn it in. They won't get money back, exactly.
Say that again?
We'll see it on the form that they turn in that the major has changed, and they won't get reimbursed. Or when they do put in the request, it won't be granted.
Okay. And
I have a question when she's done.
okay, and of course, if they leave here and they change their major, we have no claim to the money.
We wouldn't have any claim to the money, but I believe there's something in place for. I mean, we can't hold part-timers to anything. So it is, once they're here a year, then they're eligible for it. But if they leave and change their major, then no.
And and we're doing exactly what we're doing for the full-time employees.
Yes, I believe the full-time employees are tied to the amount of time that they need to stay afterwards because they get full tuition reimbursement. So I believe there's something in place. I'll call up Mr. Rios for that question to make sure, but I believe there's something in place for retention after you get your last class paid for, or we take it out of your last check, or whatever time off you have.
Good evening. So as it relates to the time to remain with the city, there's a 12-month provision for both full-time and part-time employees. Should an employee separate prior to completing the 12 months, it is required to be reimbursed at a prorated basis. If an employee received $1,200 and they served for a month from the date of receiving reimbursement, they would have to reimburse the city $1,100. So, and then it'll be they'll be forgiven for the full amount once they've completed the full 12 months.
And how enforceable is that reimbursement?
It's not that enforceable with the part-timers. It's in place, but it's not that enforceable because they
It's a giveaway.
don't have the time off.
So we give them the $2,000 and then they leave.
We reimburse them the $2,000 and then
So
Then they just leave.
if I can, sir, I'm sorry for interrupting. It isn't $2,000 right away. They could be reimbursed up to 6 credits per semester, depending on whether they're receiving a bachelor's or receiving a master's degree. At a bachelor's rate, it's approximately $205 per credit. A normal course is 3 credits, so you're looking at $600 per course. So if they are taking 2 courses, you're looking at $1,200 for that semester.
Okay, so, and there could be 3 semesters in a year.
There could be 4 quarters,
Right, 4.
but it's capped at 18 credits per year, or $2,000. For the part-timers, it would be capped at $2,000.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Commissioner, go ahead. You got a question?
Sorry?
You got a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, because I know these aides are supposed to be here a certain number of hours. Your aide in particular, I've never seen really often here at the city. So, I hope that she can capitalize on this, because it's a required 20 hours a week. So I hope she
Absolutely.
can capitalize on this if she actually shows up
Absolutely.
to City Hall.
She's here in
every
my
so-
office.
yeah.
She's here when I'm here, and she's here on the phone with me during the week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure they clock in, they write down their hours and how they're
They
producing.
write down their hours every week, and
Okay.
I follow the rules.
Okay, very good. I'm glad to hear it.
Me too.
I had a comment. I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. Oh,
Any other comments, questions?
Yes, I have a.
Commissioner
No,
Villard?
for Mr. Manager. Mr. Manager, if that were to pass tonight, when would we start?
want to take effect until
Reimbursing.
October 1st.
When?
The new fiscal year, October 1st.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and by the way, the only reason why I posed that question, Commissioner Fleurimond, is, and I could be mistaken, but when you first got your aid, and I know you were one of the first ones, if not the first one, to get it, I had asked her what her name was and how she was related to you, and I believe she told me she was. And if I'm mistaken, then I'm sorry, but I think that I remember asking her that question, and that was her answer. So
You probably recall incorrectly, but
okay,
apology accepted. Let's
Yeah.
move
No,
on. Thank you.
What
just-
is,
I want to make
I'm
sure.
going to ask the manager on the side. I'm not going to sit here anymore and do this.
Mr. Mayor? Can I'd like to call the vote, Mr. Mayor?
Hold on, there's a sidebar, and we're going to call the vote.
Or make a motion. Make a
Commissioner
motion.
Kramer is here.
Okay.
So I want to make sure she's in her seat so we can all be able to vote.
I also had a comment, if I may, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Jean, go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. I was able to benefit from this particular reimbursement that when I was working in the city of North Miami, and I was able to obtain my master's from that program. I was full-time, obviously, but I do applaud this particular initiative. Why? Because we're investing in our employees here. And not only that, you have to put the money up front, if I'm not mistaken, and it's contingent on the grade that you receive. So there's a lot of checks and balances that allow us to really be able to invest, but also do it in a way that's responsible. And the employee also has to put forth something first. So if you get a C, you're not getting $2,000 or whatever the cap is going to be contingent upon the grade that you receive and the caps that are already built into this particular policy. So I think it's a very creative initiative, and so I'm interesting to see how the vote goes.
Mr. Rios, what Commissioner Jean explained was the process in North Miami. I didn't hear that from you. Is that the process that this program is going to take in North Miami Beach? If you can kindly let us know. To the manager?
Yes, that is correct. It does require for the cost of the tuition to be paid for by the employee. Upon completion of the course, they submit their proof of payment and they submit their course outcomes, meaning their grades, in official form from the university or college they attended, and based off of that is how we provide reimbursement.
Very good information. Glad you brought that up, Commissioner Jean. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can I make the motion?
Of course, you always want to do that. That's fine. Yeah. And
Second.
There we go.
All right.
There we go. First and seconded. Madam Clerk, this is a resolution, so it's a voice vote, I would think, or am I correct?
You're correct.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
We have one. Mr. Mayor,
Huh?
6-1.
No.
Any opposed? I saw Commissioner Kramer's hand raised.
Oh,
Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, my hand is raised too.
I did like that.
Can you do a voice vote?
Yeah, can we do a voice vote to clear it up?
5-2. Okay, 5-2. All right, let's move on to item
Mr. Mayor?
15.3.
4-3.
Mr. Mayor, it's Andres. Commissioner Smuckler also stated she had her
I
hand
did like
raised.
that. I should have said something. but I did
4-3.
Like that.
4-3.
Maybe we should do a roll call. I just want to be sure
I
for
was
the
wrong. I
minutes.
should have said something. I did
Madam
like
Clerk,
that.
you're the clerk. You determine here what you want to do. It's a voice vote.
Okay, so I just wanted it to be clear for the minutes. So Commissioner Kramer?
Yes, it's a no vote.
Okay. Commissioner Villard?
Yes.
Commissioner Fleurimond?
Yes.
Commissioner Jean?
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Smuckler?
No.
Mayor DeFillipo?
No, I don't give away farms anymore. They've given away the whole house.
Mr. Mayor, the vote passes 4-3.
Yes, absolutely. It would only be natural. It's on the list.
Okay, next item.
15.3. Commissioner Kramer.
Oh,
Wait,
Vice-
you
no, Mayor,
missed something.
Miss, there's an item.
15.1.
Mr.
Oh, we have our actually, I need to move up all the way up to 13
Yes.
because we have a